With the 6th pick in the 2017 NBA Draft, the Orlando Magic select Jonathan Isaac from Florida State University.
Jonathan Isaac, born 3rd October 1997, is a professional basketball player for the Orlando Magic. Drafted with the 7th pick in 2017, he's really coming into his own this season. And for the most part, it's the defensive side of things where he's really been shining, and it's now really asking the question, could Jonathan Isaac be a Defensive Player of the Year? Or at least make the NBA defensive team? And I'll explain why he could in this video, so let's get into it. And just before we do keep talking about Mr. Isaac, if you do go on to enjoy the video, it'd be well appreciated if you left a like and a subscription. I put a lot of time into making these videos for you guys, so at least I can ask you to do, in return is, leave a like and subscribe. Really helps me out in the channel. Nearly hit 400 subs, so that'd be hype if you could help out. But yeah, without further ado, Jonathan Isaac. So yeah, Isaac, he is so versatile for his size. He stands at a whopping 6'10", has a 7-inch wingspan and 9-inch standing reach. So you look at Giannis Antetokounmpo and why he's so unique. Giannis, he's got such a unique skill set for a frame that big, and I kind of get those vibes from Isaac a bit. And Giannis, obviously one of the elite defenders. Isaac, he is an elite defender. If Isaac honestly can just clean up his offensive game a bit, he could honestly be a very good two-way player. But either way, yeah, in his rookie year, Isaac, he averaged 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. He shot 38% from the field, 34% from 3, but we saw that defensive rating of 101. So straight from the get-go in his rookie year, that was his main gist coming out of college. He wasn't an amazing offensive player, still had to be, tinkered a bit, but you knew defensive instincts, he had him. And that's one of the important things. Like, if I was a coach, I'd rather have my player know all the defensive stuff first over offensive stuff, because it's so much easier to learn like shooting mechanics and stuff like that. But defensive stuff, that can't be taught easily. That can't be built overnight. And that was Isaac's thing coming out of college. He was just a defensive menace. And we saw rookie year, he was already, going up that trend of being an amazing defensive player. Only his rookie year, so, you can kind of get away with bad shooting percentages as a rookie. But in the second year, he averaged 26 minutes. He put up 9 points a game, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1.5 blocks, 43% from field goal, 32% from 3. His defensive rating did go to 107, but he did start to get better on the offensive end. So while his defensive stats dipped last season, we did see an increase in efficiency and points in his offensive stuff. So then we really started to see Isaac start to elevate his offensive game a bit, which is great to see. And here we are in the 3rd season. Normally the 3rd year is the really, big make or break for a rookie. He was drafted as 7th pick, and in the previous 2 years we did see him, show a lot of great defensive versatile, like he could defend 1 through 5, but offensively his game wasn't quite there yet. But so far this season, we've seen great improvement offensively. He's averaging 17 points, 7 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and a whopping 3 blocks per game. It's actually 2.9, but rounded up at 3, only second behind Anthony Davis, and he has an amazing defensive rating of 102. So yeah, so far this season, we're really starting to see that defensive side of Isaac, take it up to another notch. He's averaging 3 blocks. And the thing with, I was talking about he's so versatile before, another great thing is, for someone his size, he really has no problem being the ball handler. So you look at, point forwards as Giannis, Bam Adebayo, Kevin Durant obviously is great at dribbling. Isaac, he fits that bill perfectly. Would be better if he did average a bit more assists being a point forward. He does average 1.5 assists, but he is increasing that assist total every season. So hey, maybe perhaps a few seasons in the future he might average 3 dimes, which is pretty cool. But yeah, speaking defensively, that's his thing. Like, he's an amazing defender. And this season, like, his basic stats, you might think, look on paper, they're not amazing. But once you dive deep down into those advanced analytics, you can see he's actually on the leaderboards for a lot of advanced stats. So he is 14th in VORP, which is volume over replacement player. So that's kind of like a fancy way of describing win share. So in the whole league, Jonathan Isaac is 14th in that. Keep in mind, he's on the Orlando Magic, and their record's like 6 and 11, I think. So he's doing really well to be on that. He is third in defensive box plus minus. Now that is a huge one. So to be on all defensive teams, these stats really do help. It's all about steals and blocks, it's all about these little things. If you can tick the box in these categories, you're a shoo-in to be on an all defensive team, which I feel like Isaac definitely has potential to be. But either way, he's 13th in box plus minus. So even offensive and defensive plus minus in one, he's actually 13th in that. So his offensive game isn't as bad as, you know, a lot of people making it out to be. It's still a work in project. Obviously, though, he is getting better. He's shooting like 36% from 3, I think it was. So that's his thing. He is 14th in defensive win shares. So it's win shares. So you know win shares, yeah. But you just eliminate the offensive side of that. So it's just strictly defensive. So, you know, you see like Rudy Gobert, Bam Adebayo in these categories. He's 14th in that, which is very good. Keep in mind, he plays on an Orlando Magic team. That record isn't great. So that just makes the win share stat even more impressive. He's 9th in defensive rating, so once again, another big stat. It's like, all these stats, all these advanced ones for defensive stuff, it really can help your case to be an all-defensive player. So, he's 9th in the league in that, which is amazing as well. He's 2nd in block percentile. That is a huge one. So, he's 2nd. He's behind Anthony Davis, who leads the league in blocks. And yeah, that's pretty good to be 2nd in that. Like, his shot blocking, it's really gone up another notch. Obviously, the first 2 years, he averaged around a block a game, but this year, he's averaging 3 blocks a game. So, he's really kicking up the tempo, and obviously, you know, like, getting more minutes will help with that. And yeah, Isaac is really showing it defensively this year like he has the previous years, and his offensive game is slowly getting better as well, to a point where he might be a decent point forward going in the future for the Orlando Magic. And speaking of the future for the Orlando Magic, it's not looking too bad. I do feel like they're like one of those teams that should just, you know, rebuild and get a high draft pick like LaMelo Ball or Anthony Edwards or someone like that, as that caliber. But they're a pretty young team still. They've got a few interesting players. They've got Aaron Gordon, of course, who's been struggling a bit this season. Markelle Fultz, who's kind of rejuvenated his career. I'm keen for him to keep progressing there. Jonathan Isaac, of course, is, you know, doing his thing. He might even be a candidate for most improved player if his stats keep rising like we are seeing this season. You got Mo Bamba, of course, who's really just known for that song by Sheck Wes, and you know, when Mo Bamba was getting drafted, he had a lot of hype around him, but he just hasn't lived up to it, sadly. And then, of course, you got Chuma Okeke as well, who's out with the torn ACL. So, as a team, the Magic, they're not looking too bad. Like, they got a few good potential players in the future. I just feel like they should be one of those teams that should just hit the rebuild button and start fresh. Because if you can give Isaac a good young teammate to pair up, like more young teammates to pair up in the future, in about 3 years, and obviously they can sign a big free agent or whatever, they might be a good team in the East. Like right now, I think they're just better suited to rebuilding rather than trying to contend for a low playoff seed. I just feel like that's my best view on them, but for the most part, they do have a pretty underrated young core, so it will be interesting to see how they go for the rest of the year. I'm a big fan of Jonathan Isaac. If you watch any of my previous videos, I said he would have a breakout year in my 5 players that have a breakout season. So far, he's showing a lot of people what he's got. It's been a great sight to see. I'm looking forward to keep seeing progression. So that's going to do it for me this video, guys. If you did go enjoy, make sure to leave a like and a subscription. Like I said, it does help out the channel. Nearly at 400 subs. And yeah, I'm keen to see keep Isaac, you know, progressing every season, every game, take it game by game. He's looked amazing. I reckon he can be one of the elite two-way players if he keeps honing his craft, especially offensively, because defensively, he's already got it already. Like, if he just works on his offensive game that tiny bit more, he's going to be a real problem with the league. But anyways, fellas, that's going to do it for me. So, yeah, till next time, I guess I'll see you later. Russo NBA. Peace.